We're going to start with session number 11 and working through lesson plan number 62 and 65, or 62 through 65, excuse me, regarding bookmarks, measurement tool, draw tools, and the buffer tool. And I'd like to introduce Denise Miller for this next session.
Thanks, Kara. Let's start off with lesson plan 62, which is dealing with the bookmark tool. So, of course, you need to be in desktop, and you also need to have a case file open, which we do. Bookmarks can be created to view or to save a viewing extent in desktop, and you can easily return to that saved view. One thing to note is that they are saved with the case file, and so forth, that a case file must be open in order to use that feature. So by the end of this lesson, we're going to be able to create a bookmark, zoom to one, an existing one, as well as remove a bookmark. All right. So we're going to go to the bookmark icon, which is the little flag, a couple from the left, to open up the bookmarks dialog. And then to add a bookmark, you just click the Add Bookmark on the list. And then go ahead and type a name for it, such as bookmark 1 or so forth. This bookmarks are really great if you have land that are in two very different areas. So, you know, when you make a bookmark, of course, name it something that is useful. For training, we're just having bookmark 1. So yep, go ahead and add one. And then after you input the name, press the Enter key for it to save. So go ahead and either zoom in or zoom to a different area just so we can make another bookmark. And then once you're there, go ahead and go ahead and click Add Bookmark to create another one and name it Bookmark 2. Or South Unit, South Bookmark. Great. So to move or to zoom to a bookmark in the bookmark list, just click the bookmark you want to go to, such as click Bookmark 1, and that will zoom you to that saved extent. And then if you click the South bookmark, that will take you to the second one. So pretty easy to use. Should you need to remove a bookmark, you will notice that there's an X on the right. You would just click that to remove it from the list. And then if you're done using the bookmarks, you can just click the X on the blue line to close the bookmarks. And that is the end of lesson plan 62 using the bookmark tool. So the next tool, Geospatial tool we'll be using is the measurement tool. So this is lesson plan 63. Once again, you need to be in a case file. And the measure tool can be used to measure an area or perimeter of a polygon, length of a line, or to view coordinates of a point. And we will be trying out all three during this lesson, as well as viewing the area, perimeter, length, as well as the coordinates. So the measure tool is that triangle icon, like 4 from the left, and that will open up the measure tool. And you can see there's different icons on the top. There's the kind of one on the left. It would be for your areas. The one right to the right of that would be for your lines. And then that would be your points. So let's go ahead and start off with the area. And so you select that. You'll notice that the units are kind of off to the right. Right now it's set at square miles. So to start your measure tool, you just click on the map to start it. And then, click on screen and double click to end it. And you'll notice on that measure tool that it gives you your area as well as length. And that would be your perimeter. You also can change your distance units directly. So if you go up to the square miles and click the drop down, you can see you could change that to something different, such as acres. And it will change the measurement of that item without having to redraw, which I think is really cool. So that would be your area. So if you click the area button again, that will exit your drawing mode. And you can see it got rid of your icon there. Let's move to lines. Very similar. You select that, and then you would draw your line on screen. Clicking to add a vertex. Double click to end, and you'll notice that you once again have a length as well. Right now it's set to miles. So let's go ahead and change that measurement to feet. And there you go. You also have a feet measurement. So you could, draw another line if you needed to. Otherwise, you could click the line to finish. All right. So let's do the points, and this one is very handy. So you'll notice that there are two different icons, one with an arrow and then one with kind of like a kind of green column. So once you get on screen, you'll notice that as Sandy's moving the cursor around, those coordinates are changing based on your cursor. And then to actually drop a coordinate, you just click with that, and that will be the coordinates for that location. You'll notice right now the measurements are in decimal degrees. The other option would be degrees, minutes, and seconds. And that would be the DMS. So there are two different options with the points. And then to close the measure tool, you just do the X on the blue.
Just a bonus comment for them. If you wanted to capture these coordinates and put them in an Excel spreadsheet, you can copy and paste out of this dialog window as well.
Good to know. All right, and that concludes the measure tool. The next tool, which is we're going to be covering, is Lesson Plan 64, the drawing tools. And so it's an icon just to the right of the measure tool. It looks like a square and a circle, I believe. The rationale is the drawing tools allow the planner to draw graphics such as polygons, rectangles, circles, lines, or points on the map. You can select graphics. You can summarize your selected graphics to get a combined area or length. You can also delete graphics. The one very important thing when we're talking about graphics in Conservation Desktop is that the graphics are not saved outside of the user's current session and are cleared when the user logs off or changes context, such as opening or closing a case file or a practice schedule. So this is very different from what we're used to seeing in current toolkit, because if you would draw graphics, they would stay in your project, whereas in Conservation Desktop, they're just within this current session. So at the end of this lesson, you'll be able to draw graphics, select them, summarize them, and of course, delete them. So our first up is we have the drawing toolbar up, and you can see there's several icons over the top, and we'll be going over pretty much all of these. The first 5 or so are the actual drawing tools. So there's a polygon, a rectangle, circle, a line, as well as a point. And then the arrow would be to select, and we'll cover the last 3 to select all, summarize, and as well as delete. And we'll cover all of those. So let's go ahead and start drawing. So let's start with the point. So you select your point off the drawing toolbar, and then you click on screen to create that graphic. And you'll notice that a point, it kind of is yellow, is added to your screen. Similarly, if we draw a line, we'll come up and grab the line graphic. And then once again, you left-click to start it and click to add vertexes, double-click to finish. You'll notice that that line is kind of a black line, and that's what it defaults to. And then let's go ahead and do just a polygon. And that first polygon is you can create whatever shape, irregular shape you want to. It will allow you to do that. You'll notice that it comes in with kind of a yellow, somewhat transparent fill and a black outline. The other 2 polygon items would be an actual rectangle as well as the circle. With the circle, where you click is where it starts at center, and as you go out, that creates that, similar to how it is right now. So all very good. All right, to select our graphics, you will use the Select button, which is that arrow, and you simply click on the item. So go ahead and select one. You'll notice that it gets kind of a turquoise outline around it, and as you continue to click on the graphics, it will select them. The click and drag is not available currently. So as you select them, you'll notice it gets kind of that kind of blue outline. All right, to summarize the graphics, we're going to go back to that drawing kind of toolbar and click our Summarize, or our Summary button. And you'll be able to see it summarizes the polygons as well as your lines if that was selected. So in this case, there were 2. There you go. So we have 1 line selected as well as 2 polygons. And you will get the total area, total perimeter, as well as the count for the selected items. All right. So to clear your selected, you can either simply click on screen using that arrow, black pointer arrow, and that will clear the selected item. All right, so to delete graphics, the first item you would need to have your graphics selected. So in this case, if we want to delete all of them, we'll use our Select All button, and that will highlight everything. If you only wanted 1 or 2, you would want to manually click on each one. And then to delete them all, it's going to be the trash can icon on the right. And click that, and it will ask you if you want to delete the selected, and we're going to go ahead and click Yes to confirm it. And the graphic should be removed. And that completes Lesson Plan 64. We'll move to Lesson Plan 65, the buffer tool. So once again, we need to be in a case file in the TA Plan Select Practice Schedule Open. So let's open that. And we'll Shandy's doing that. I'll give you a little explanation. Many times there are instances where a planner may want to create a buffer for a point, line, or polygon feature. For line features, for example, you can buffer along either the left or right side of a line or along both sides. This might be an example where you want to buffer along a stream for an easement. For polygon features, you can buffer inside a polygon or outside of a polygon, or both inside and outside, or you can buffer the outside and include the inside. So lots of different options there. An example might be for a polygon where you would want to buffer around an existing structure, such as like a high tunnel for a pollinator patch. You can also buffer around point features, and that an example might be to create a buffer around a livestock watering well. So when we complete this lesson, you'll be able to create a buffer off of a line, polygon, as well as a point. So I see we have our TA plan up. So we're going to go to the buffer tool off the GIS Tools toolbar. And yes, there you go. And this will create our buffer tool icon. And you'll be able to see there's different options. You can create buffers either from the graphics or from the features of a layer. So in this case, we're going to use features of a layer. And we're going to select practice lines. All right, so we're going to select one of the practice lines. So we're going to click on the Select Mode button on the GIS toolbar to do that. There we go. And click on the Select button to select the features. And then, so we'll go to the buffer width. 100 feet looks okay. We will, but you sure can change it if you need to. If you needed to change it to 50 feet, you sure could. We will maintain the yes for dissolve barriers. We also want to create it on both sides of the line. And right now we will use the graphics in the map view. Please note that the graphics option is the only option available at this time. You will be able to save buffers in an editable layer in a future release. And then to create the buffer, go ahead and click OK. And you'll notice that it was added to the map. And the buffers will display as a red graphic around those selected icons or selected lines. So perfect. All right, so let's go back to the buffer tool to open that up. And this time we're going to select items from our practice polygons layer. We're going to use that to buffer from. And then go ahead and select a polygon. Okay. And then you'll notice that we selected a polygon, and now we'll change the buffer width to 25 feet. And dissolve is fine, and only the outside of the polygon is what we're interested in. And then once again, we'll choose as a graphic in the view and click OK. And you can see it added that as well. Once again, with the red icon, the red graphics around that selected features. Okay. The last buffer tool we're going to cover is the buffering a point. Once again, we'll open up the buffer tool. We will select our features from the practice points. We'll go ahead and select a point that we're interested in. right. The buffer width is 25, once again, and that's fine. As you can notice, the points have lots of fewer options compared to the lines and the polygons. Which is understandable. We'll keep it as a graphic and go ahead and click OK. And you can see that it did add a red buffer around that point. And you'll notice it created basically a circle around that. And that concludes the buffer tool in Lesson Plan 65. Back to you, Kara.
All right. Thank you very much, Denise.